In the NBA, we see them all the time. Jaw-dropping dunks, game-changing dunks, these dunks are great, but disrespectful dunks, well, those are a much more vicious story. But guys, before we jump into everything, I want to thank SimpliSafe for sponsoring today's video. We will talk more about SimpliSafe later. Anyway, what's up guys, Mike here, and I'm sure you are going to argue with me a lot during this video, so if you disagree with any of my picks for these dunks, please comment down below and tell me how dumb you think I am. Also, please like this video and subscribe for more content. And now, starting off strong with one of the best dunkers of all time, we have Dominique Wilkins of the Atlanta Hawks. Many people have said this dunk by Dominique over Bob Lanier is his best, but personally, I like this one where he dunks over 3 Pacers players at once. And as for the most disrespectful dunk, well,
ball picked off by Rollins. Looks like the Hawks want to run. They find Wilkins. Look out.
Dominique was just a rookie when he made Larry Bird fall with this monster slam. Speaking of rookies though, the Boston Celtics have recently struggled against LeBron James-led teams, but
Celtics with 67 points with 6:45 remaining. Tatum drives down and throws it down. Wow!
And then, talking some talk, this dunk meant so much to Tatum that he and his parents actually have real posters of it in their houses. Now though, jumping to another greatest dunker of all time, Vince Carter playing for the New Jersey Nets certainly earned some bonus points with this incredible throwdown over one of the league's best shot blockers, Alonzo Mourning. Looking back at this dunk, Carter has said that everything felt like it was in slow motion and he knew he was making history in this moment. That is awesome because of course, he was right. Meanwhile, in the city of Charlotte, Baron Davis has had some great dunks, Gerald Henderson has had some great dunks, Larry Johnson has had some great dunks, but personally, my 2 favorite dunks from Charlotte are Miles Bridges attempting this insane dunk in the Summer League, and the winner here,
Bucks are in a hurry. How about that? Watch out! Miles Bridges out of nowhere!
And yes, in this video, of course, you move higher up on the list if you dunk on a Defensive Player of the Year or a great shot blocker. By the way, did you know that Patrick Ewing once averaged 4 blocks per game? That will matter in a second because Derrick Rose has had some monster dunks for the Chicago Bulls, that's for sure. Taj Gibson also did this to Dwayne Wade, which was incredible, but looking at the best of the best here, at least in terms of disrespect, Michael Jordan's dunk over Dikembe Mutombo with the finger wag was disrespectful. And Jordan's dunk over Patrick Ewing was pretty savage. But the most disrespectful dunk for the Chicago Bulls has to be when
rejected by Horace Grant, who leads the team in blocks in the playoffs. Great passing.
giving us the perfect symbol of New York Knicks basketball for the last 50 or so years. Sorry Knicks fans, continuing on, of course for the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James has been the star of the show and has embarrassed plenty of defenders. Any one of these dunks we are watching right now could be the pick here, but I like a wild card.
Davis with a rip away. He'll run with Palacio. Ricky to the hole.
I like Ricky Davis teaching MVP Steve Nash that sometimes you don't go for the charge, you get out of the way. And Ricky certainly gets more disrespectful points here for the trash talk that ensued after this dunk. As for the Dallas Mavericks, all-star Josh Howard was known to throw down the occasional highlight dunk, but he certainly outdid himself here against the Rockets when he bulldozed over a defender and performed a gymnastics routine on the rim. Now for the Denver Nuggets, we've got two contenders here. The honorable mention will be Carmelo Anthony, who at one point in his life had some bounce and showed it here when he throws down over Paul Millsap. This dunk was nasty, but J.R. Smith tops it as he...
So you kind of see how it's affecting Tony Parker.
J.R. Smith! We just saw men fly!
Absolutely insane. Meanwhile, most of the dunks on this list come from players like Ben Wallace and Andre Drummond, who were of course all-stars, in this case for the Detroit Pistons. And while Ben and Andre certainly had some great dunks, my pick for the Pistons' absolutely most disrespectful dunk...
Snell takes the inbounds pass. The boy gets run off the line. Down the lane, my goodness!
I love this, especially because Thompson just accepts that he has been sunned by a rookie and moves on. As for our next team, the main story of the 2007 Golden State Warriors was that as an 8 seed, they upset the top-seeded Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs. However, their signature moment came in round 2 when Andrei Kirilenko, who had averaged over 3 blocks the year before,
And then getting the basketball, because a lot of good things will happen, not just with him scoring, but then also it open up. Oh, man! Hello.
This personally is one of my favorite dunks ever. Man, Baron Davis embarrassed Andre Karolinka. And speaking of embarrassing, Sean Bradley is 7'6" and averaged over 3 blocks per game in multiple seasons. None of this mattered though when for the Houston Rockets, Tracy McGrady.
Vince, and that says a lot. Here comes McGrady. Oh, he just sucked the gravity right out of the building. What a play by T-Man.
Yeah, you know you're about to be put on an embarrassing poster when you go up for a block and end up looking at the ground. Sorry, Sean, but T-Mac did it to you. So now, playing for the Indiana Pacers, Paul George certainly had some awesome dunks, including this 360 jaw-dropping masterpiece. But if we're looking at the one dunk where he really disrespected a man's life, well, in the 2013 Eastern Conference Finals,
Here comes George, got the step and Spurs, what a move, it counts on the foul. He beat LeBron James with that quick step.
the Pacers would win this game too after this dunk gave them some tremendous momentum. However, they would lose this series in 7 games. Despite this, after this series, Chris Anderson still felt like a loser. And with the mention of losers, the Lob City Clippers never gave us a championship, but they did give us some of the most ridiculous dunks of the 2010s, which means we have to give honorable mentions to Blake Griffin's 2 dunks over Pau Gasol, including this one where he elbows Pau in the face, and this one where he literally jumps over Pau. Both of these dunks would be at the top of a lot of franchises lists, but that is not the case here, as we have DeAndre Jordan.
But I'll show you how to coach. Here comes Chris Paul. The lob. The jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
A dunk that had Detroit Pistons fans celebrating and had Matt Barnes jokingly saying on his podcast that both Chris Paul and DeAndre should be in jail for ending Brandon Knight. Continuing forward, the Los Angeles Lakers are another team that have several dunks that could be on this list, but we're going to hyper-focus on 2 here. The second place finisher for me, disrespect-wise, is Kobe absolutely destroying the relationship between him and his future teammate Dwight Howard, because really, how does Dwight come back from this? Somehow though, Shaq does one-up Kobe's right here.
Here's Shaq. Against Dudley. Nice. Shaquille O'Neal was so powerful on that move that Dudley...
As we see, Shaq not only dunks on Chris Dudley, but he also shoves him over in possibly the most disrespectful sequence I've ever seen. As for the Memphis Grizzlies, they have not had many incredible dunkers in their franchise history, but Rudy Gay was an exception, and his best throwdown had to come here against Houston.
Against Scola. Gonna take him in the middle. Right on the top of Scola's head. Oh my goodness.
Yes, we see Rudy try to send Luis Scola back to Argentina where he came from with this slam. But before we continue, guys, I want to talk to you about SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is an incredibly effective and reliable home security that will make sure that your home is safe. And the best part about SimpliSafe is that it is so easy to order. You can order it online or on the phone, and it's so easy to set up. Installation takes under 1 hour. From there, your home is professionally monitored 24/7, which means if anything happens, the police will be called, so SimpliSafe can make sure that you are safe. Guys, SimpliSafe is only 50 cents a day and there are no contracts at all. Also, of course, the link is in the description of this video and is the pinned comment. And for me personally, the cool thing about SimpliSafe sponsoring this video is that I already had SimpliSafe before they reached out to me. One night at around 3 a.m., my girlfriend and me heard a very loud bang on the door. We got scared. We ended up calling the police. So we ended up ordering SimpliSafe, and from then on, we've had absolutely no problems at all. First, right here, we have the base station, which you just have to plug into a power outlet. The base station communicates with all of the other devices and sends an alarm to SimpliSafe if anything goes wrong. We've then got the motion sensors, which detect motion up to 30 feet. We've also got entry sensors that detect if anyone is trying to enter your house, a camera that will capture whatever happens if an alarm is triggered, a smoke detector, a carbon monoxide detector, and of course a keypad where you can type in a PIN number to keep your home safe. On top of all of this, if anything does happen, alerts are sent right to your phone through the SimpliSafe app. Trust me, you will not regret it. Your safety is key. So guys, in order to make sure that your home is safe, go to simplisafe.com/Korzemba and make sure your home is safe. But we're just going to instantly move on to the Miami Heat, as again, they are one of those teams that have several top dunk candidates. heads. I mean, you've gotta love this dunk of Dwayne Wade throwing down on Kendrick Perkins after a 6 spin, and LeBron jumping over John Lucas was absolutely unreal. Somehow though, I don't have either of those dunks at the top because dunk number 2 comes in the way of LeBron's demolition of Jason Terry, and the winner here is this.
He was looking for contact from Jermaine O'Neal, got a piece of it. Wade, a facial! Yes, and a foul!
Dwayne Wade going coast to coast, and yes, as Marv Albert said, he gave Anderson Varejao a facial. It should be no surprise that for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is going to lead the way here, and as for the most disrespectful dunk he's had,
knocked away and stolen. Here's Middleton, Giannis trailing the lob. Oh! Giannis Antetokounmpo for Chris Middleton.
Yeah, treating Tim Hardaway Jr. like a prop to jump over is pretty disrespectful. Now looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have had some highlight dunks from Zach LaVine recently, but before Zach, of course, Kevin Garnett gave us some absolute posters. In my opinion though, none of these are too crazy, so let's switch things up and choose a 38-year-old Kevin Garnett who...
Nice steal by Ricky, good anticipation. Got to be Blake, he's got KG trailing the play. Kevin Garnett with a thunderous dunk.
As we can see, it puts a prime Blake Griffin on a poster and then gets a technical foul for trash talking. The technical foul, of course, giving him extra points for being disrespectful. Now with the New Orleans Pelicans, let's add another random name to this list with Kirk Snyder, because I mean, look at this.
Rebounded it, but on the kick out, tipped away from Parker. Speedy feeds Taylor. Oh my! That was Mr. Snyder, just in case you were wondering, LA.
Kirk Snyder jumps over Von Wafer. He jumped over him. That is the ultimate form of disrespect. He didn't even give the man the chance to foul him. And this means we've gotten to the time we've all been waiting for, the New York Knicks, who actually have some solid candidates here. Like KG though, I want to do something a little different and give extra points to Nate Robinson on this.
Out to Harrington. Harrington for 3. And short. Robinson! Oh, what a play from Nate Robinson! Flying in and slams in the rebound.
Yes, a putback dunk from a man who's about 5'9" over Leon Poe, in my opinion, certainly deserves a place on this list. Someone else who probably deserves a place on this list is Russell Westbrook, a man who many of you probably thought was guaranteed to make this list. Because as we all know, Russ has dunked on a lot of people, and when he dunks on someone, he certainly lets that person know they just got embarrassed. However, looking at the Thunder's franchise as a whole, the best dunk has to come from when they were the Seattle Supersonics. Well, just watch.
Cross-court, Jets got it right up into the alley. Tomahawk jam! Yeah, baby! Into Lister's face, and the Sonics take the lead.
This is possibly the most disrespectful dunk ever, as Sean Kemp destroys Alton Lister and then points at Lister's body, which was absolutely amazing. And looking at the Orlando Magic, we have 2 other big men who had a habit of putting other players on posters. Recently, Dwight Howard had several big-time dunks, but of course before him, a young Shaq was an absolute monster. And so the pick here has to be Shaq disrespecting the basket as...
And I believe Shintz has kept it alive again, did he? Yep, he did. Almost put it in, too. Here's Bowie. Shaquille, whoa!
He pulls down the whole thing against the Nets. Young Shaq was again very scary. On to the Philadelphia 76ers. They have 3 dunks I love, so let's start here with Andre Iguodala throwing down on Yao Ming. Posterizing a massively tall guy, always a classic. Then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have a short guy in Allen Iverson with a putback poster over Marcus Camby, where he briefly rides Camby like a horse. These are great, but the best is a throwback, as Julius Erving goes against Michael Cooper and not only dunks on Cooper, but has the nerve to rock the baby on him with this flashy dunk. Meanwhile, while playing for the Phoenix Suns, Amari Stoudemire was a human highlight reel, and personally, my favorite dunk of his came against Jeff Foster, who Amari uses as a human cushion after he dunks all over him. Surprisingly though, this is not the Suns' best dunk, as Tom Chambers has this historic play where
2-on-1, KJ to Chambers, jam! Oh boy, he went right up Mark Jackson.
We just saw a man fly. Yes, Tom Chambers dunks with his knee on Mark Jackson's chest. Looking at the Portland Trailblazers now, there was a time where it looked like Brandon Roy was going to rise and become the best shooting guard in basketball, but sadly, his career became a what-if story. Still though, this dunk against the Los Angeles Clippers is historic.
Early in this NBA season, he's getting his opportunities, making the most. Roy goes inside and posterizes check some.
Yes, Brandon Roy embarrasses Czech Sam so badly that Sam would retire after this season. And you've gotta love watching Brandon Roy look back at his victim here. Now, surprisingly, the Sacramento Kings are a team that have 3 dunks I love, as Gerald Wallace dunking on the Rockets here needs to be in this video, as does DeMarcus Cousins ending Anthony Randolph. I think the Kings' best dunk though comes at the hands of Derek Williams with
Elton Payton has really had just as good a year in his own.
Look up below! Oh, you don't like that! You don't like NBA basketball!
Yet another dunk over Bismack Biyombo, a man who basically was a human poster of a player. Meanwhile, as we all know, the San Antonio Spurs gained a label of being a somewhat boring team during Tim Duncan's run, as Duncan himself was known as the big fundamental. That does not mean though that he did not have some nasty dunks, and the best comes at the hands of multiple Defensive Player of the Year Ben Wallace, who just gets owned.
Looked after that great start. Oh, Tim Duncan. Now that is a throwdown.
Now, you probably think for the Toronto Raptors that Vince Carter is a shoo-in, and yes, Vince had some amazing dunks, including this one over Dikembe Mutombo. Vince is not my winner though, and neither is DeMar DeRozan, even though he threw down over Rudy Gobert. My winner is a rookie, Tracy McGrady, who
picked up by Randy Brown, loose in the lane, finally stolen by Toronto. Tracy McGrady on the run, McGrady down.
Wow, to me, this is one of the most underrated dunks on this list because I rarely see it, but it is an elite tier dunk. And speaking of elite tier dunks, Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz has certainly had some sick dunks, including this putback on the Houston Rockets. Karl Malone also had some posters as well, but he sucks as a person. That's not relevant to this video. I just like to remind everyone of that whenever I can. Staying on track here though, the best dunk in Utah history has to be this sequence from Jeremy Evans.
Oh, how about that? Evans, the block to Turioff. Takes it coast to coast. Oh! Hammer down.
Yes, Evans swats Ronnie Turioff and then makes this an all-time play by dunking in his face on the other end. Absolutely amazing. Now though, let's finish this video off with a man who loves to disrespect other players on the court with the Washington Wizards version of Kelly Oubre. Because against the Toronto Raptors, Kelly Oubre
Gonna go all the way, lay it up, no good. Follow slam by Oubre, and a foul.
Yes, he comes flying in for a monster jam against Pascal Siakam, and then of course talks his talk because that is what Kelly Oubre does. And so there we have it guys, all 30 teams. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on so you never miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this 30 team concept, comment down below another concept you would like to see. Personally, I'm thinking the next time I do this, I might do worst trade for all 30 teams. And of course guys, if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome, we all know it, and as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it, and other than that, have a great day and peace.